250 years.
A long road for a nation, and we're still walking it together. And 250 candles burning in the dark since a spark in Philadelphia lit a rebel heart. Farmers took a musket, said we'll stand or fall, a fragile little promise written for us all. From frozen lines at Valley Forge to a brand new flag unfurled, a dream began to whisper to a watching world. 250 years of freedom in the wind, through the fire and the doubt we rise again. Every scar tells a story of the price we paid for the right to stand proud and unafraid. Through the storms, through the tears, through the fight to stay strong, we kept the light burning all along, and the world still sees that shining frontier. 250 years. There were days when the country nearly tore apart, brother against brother with a shattered heart. Fields turned into battlefields, hope hanging by a thread, praying that the Union wasn't already dead. But the better angels whispered through the pain, and we stitched a broken promise back again. 250 years of freedom in the wind, through the fire and the doubt we rise again. Every scar tells a story of the price we paid for the right to stand proud and unafraid. Through the storms, through the tears, through the fight to stay strong, we kept the light burning all along, and the world still sees that shining frontier. 250 years. From the beaches of Normandy to a rocket in the sky, from a march across a bridge to one small step nearby, every generation writes another line in the story of a dream that still survives. 250 years and the flag still flies, carried by the brave who gave their lives for the hope that every soul can stand up free in the land of possibility. Through the storms, through the tears, through the fight to stay strong, we kept the light burning all along, and the world still sees that shining frontier. 250 years of freedom here. 250 years. And the story's still being written.
And fans, welcome to Mohawk Valley DiamondDawgs baseball. I'm Pete Pagliaro, bringing you all the perfect game collegiate baseball league action here tonight. It is the Booneville Lumberjacks against the Mohawk Valley DiamondDawgs here tonight. Booneville Lumberjacks coming in at 8-27, Mohawk Valley 15-23, one game back the final playoff spot in the PGCBL playoffs. First for Booneville, batting first is the second baseman, number 23, Candice Davis. The shortstop is number 2, Zeb Swingham. The DH is number 28, Masai Marshall. The extra hitter, number 36, is Carson Beatty. Center fielder, number 7, is Will Hill. The first baseman is number 31, Ian Farber. The third baseman is number 4, Elijah Negron. In right field is number 9, Bronx Lewis. The left fielder is number 5, Noah Reed. And catching for the Lumberjacks, number 27, Seth Bischoff. On the mound tonight for Booneville is number 1, Jalen Fullwood. For the Mohawk Valley DiamondDawgs, you'll find Jake Hardy in center field, Kyle Coleman at right field, Connor Scanlon at first base, Brody Frecker is the left fielder, Jake Dolan is the designated hitter, Roberto Valdez Jr. at second base, Harsh Venkat is the third baseman, Ryan Payne is at short, and Jaden Santiago with the catching duties tonight for Mohawk Valley. Jack Donlin on the mound for Mohawk Valley. So Donlin taking his last few warm-up tosses here for Mohawk Valley. And like I said, if you look at the records here, Booneville 8-27, Mohawk Valley 15-23. But what's more important, Mohawk Valley sitting in 5th place, one game back from Oneonta, the final playoff spot on the line. 3 games left for Mohawk Valley, 3 games left for Oneonta. Oneonta not playing tonight. So the last 3 games of the season, they're all going to matter. So here's Candice Davis. He is the second baseman, batting .384, and he's going to face off against Jack Donlin here. Donlin, 5.93 ERA. He's 2-4 on the season. And Davis is the second baseman, just about ready as they're waiting. Not sure what they're waiting for, but they're waiting for something. As Davis looking back to his dugout and starts to make the way in. Looks like they're trying to shut the gate down the third base line, having some struggles with it.
Yes, coach.
And here's the windup and the pitch. And there is strike one, the count 0-1. So no balls in 1 strike as we are on our underway here in Little Falls for this perfect game collegiate baseball league matchup. Playoff implications on the line for Mohawk Valley and for Oneonta here tonight. A little popper to the shortstop, and he will throw over to first base for out number 1. So Davis grounds out to start the game off here for Booneville. So Zeb Swingham is now the batter. Right-handed batter is Swingham. He is the shortstop, hitting 200 for Booneville. So a lot of these teams now, as we get to the end of the season, finding players heading back home. They're going back to college, so a lot of them got to catch flights and head back home. So both teams starting to see the impact of that. So here is Swingham at the plate, right-handed batter versus the lefty. And there is strike one, the count 0-1. No balls on the strike. Here's the windup and the pitch from Donlin. Down the middle called strike 2. Quickly ahead in the count now is Donlin, 0-2. So after Swingham, it'll be Masai Marshall on deck here for Booneville. Both teams decked out in green, and that's fouled off by Swingham. The count remains 0-2. So for Booneville, wearing a darker shade of green, they have gold on the arms and on the sides. Meanwhile, Mohawk Valley, more of the hunter green with dogs scrolled across the front and some little white trim and black numbers for the Dogs. 0-2. Here's the windup and the pitch. That one misses down low in the count 1-2 now to Swingham. Again, Swingham hitting 200 on the season. He is the shortstop here tonight for Booneville. Nice night here for baseball. Not too hot, not too cold. Kind of a perfect night to play this game. Here's the windup and the pitch. Very comfortable here in the booth tonight. 2-2 now the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So final 2 games for the Dogs here at Vets Memorial Park tonight and tomorrow. And then 1 more game, and the regular season will be over. There's a swing and a miss for strike 3 as Swangam goes down swinging for out number 2.
Designated hitter number 28 from Northwestern University, Masai Marshall.
So Masai Marshall now the batter. Masai Marshall hitting .216. He is the designated hitter for Booneville. 1 home run on the year for Masai. He is the DH, wearing number 28. Right-handed batter is Masai. Dowland sets, winds, and delivers. Outside. Caught by Santiago, the count 1-0. 1 ball, no strike. A little bit of a breeze here, blowing from right to left. You can see the flag out in center field. Blowing along as that breeze blows through. Big swing and a miss there by Marshall. And the count now even at 1-1. So a ball and a strike here to Marshall. Carson Beatty is on deck should he reach. 2 outs on the board here, top of the first from Vets Memorial Park in Little Falls. 1-1 the count. Here's the pitch outside. And the count now 2-1. So 2 balls and a strike here to Marshall. Marshall steps back into the box. Got those sliding gloves in his back pocket. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss for strike 2. And that brings us to Deuces Wild here. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs here for Marshall at the plate. Marshall steps out of the box momentarily before he steps back in, ready to face Donlin. Donlin looks in now, and he's going to wind and deliver on that 2-2 pitch. Here it is. And it's popped into foul territory, right into the glove of the first baseman. And that'll do a quick 1-2-3 first inning. No score. We head to the bottom of the first.
We know pools. Garrity Pools and Spa are the experts in building and creating backyard memories for thousands of families. Garrity takes pride in offering only the highest quality in-ground Pacific pool and radiant above-ground pools that are built for upstate New York weather. Garrity offers only the best with BioGuard chemicals to keep your pool sparkling clean. Visit the professionals at Garrity Pools and Spa, 234 South Caroline Street, Herkimer, or GarrityPools.com.
Wake up and smell the sizzle at your local Burger King. Burger King is open for breakfast 7 days a week. Your mornings deserve the royal treatment. So dive in to try our delicious breakfast sandwiches, savor our savory hash browns, and wash it all down with a hot or iced coffee. Whether it's Monday or Sunday, we've got your breakfast cravings covered. Swing by BK today to have it your way. You rule at participating U.S. restaurants during breakfast hours.
And we are back. Jake Hardy will lead things off here for the DiamondDawgs. It'll be Jake Hardy, Kyle Coleman, and Connor Scalen. 1, 2, 3 in the batting order here for the Dogs. On the mound, Jalen Fullwood. And first pitch is popped up high. And shortstop makes the grab. Someone's in his eyes, but he's all right making the catch there. That was Zeb Swingham with the pop-out catch for Booneville. So Kyle Coleman tied for the home run lead for the Dogs with 6 home runs, hitting .307 on the season. Having a great season here for the Dogs. He is the right fielder, is Coleman, right-handed batter to face Fullwood. Fullwood winds and delivers. He's a right-handed pitcher. And there is strike one. Fullwood 0-3 on the season, a 14.66 ERA. 0-1 count to Coleman now. Here's the windup and the pitch by Fullwood as he takes his time. And the pitch. Ball hit on the ground to Swangam. Picks it up, throws it across to first. And that is out number 2 as Coleman grounds out to the shortstop. And Connor Scanlon will come to the plate.
From Fairfield University, Connor Scanlon.
So here's Connor Scanlon, also tied for the home run lead with the Dogs. 6 home runs with Scanlon and Coleman. He's hitting .282 on this season. He's the first baseman for the Dogs from Fairfield University. And he's up here batting third in the lineup here in the bottom of the first. And that was a curveball that misses high and inside for ball 1 from Fullwood. Fullwood, one of the taller pitchers you'll see in the league. Here's the pitch. And there's a called strike one. The count of 1-1. That one painted the inside corner on Scanlon. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's the pitch. And that one takes a big bounce in the dirt. And the count now 2-1. Catcher behind the plate is Seth Bischoff for Booneville. And the count 2-1 now to Scanlon. Scanlon awaits the pitch. Here it is, the windup. And that one also gets away as Bischoff looked at his glove, making sure there's not a hole in it. 3-1 the count. Brody Frecker on deck for the Dogs. Here's the 3-1 pitch. And that one misses for ball 4, so Connor Scanlon will take his base at first with the walk.
Right fielder number 19 from George Washington University, Brody Frecker.
So Brody Frecker now the batter for the Dogs. He's the left fielder tonight, hitting .321 is Frecker with 3 home runs. And he steps into the batter's box to face Fullwood here with 2 outs and a runner on. And there's ball 1 missing down low to Frecker. And the count of 1-0. Fullwood looks in. Runner on first, taking a short lead. Here's the windup now and the pitch from Fullwood. Again, that one takes a bounce. Catcher can't find it for a second. And finally finds it in his glove, bouncing around. The count now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Here to Brody Frecker. Jake Dolan on deck. And that one misses for ball 3. The count now 3-0. So 3 balls and no strikes to Frecker. And imagine he's taken here all the way on this 3-0 pitch. And there's strike 1 right down the middle from Fullwood. And that brings us to a 3-1 count. Again, runner on first base, Connor Scanlon reached on a walk. Bottom first, no score, 2 outs here for the Dogs. 3-1 count. They throw back to first base on a close play as Scanlon slides back safely. And the count remains 3-1. So 3 balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Called strike 2. And a full count now to Brody Frecker. Dolan awaits on deck for the Dogs with 2 outs. Full count, 3-2. Fullwood sets, kicks, winds, and delivers, and that one hit down the third base line, foul. And the count's going to be 3-2 as Frecker will reset here. So with a 3-2 count, Frecker back in the batter's box as he awaits Fullwood now. Fullwood gets his sign, kicks, winds, and delivers, and that one's hit hard at the third baseman. He scoops it up, throws across the diamond high, and that gets away, and that's going to put runners now on second and third as Frecker will head to second and Scanlon to third. So the third baseman made a nice play at third base and then threw it high, and it got away from the first baseman.
Jake Dolan.
So an E5 on the play. Jake Dolan now the batter, hitting .333 is Dolan. He is the designated hitter here tonight for the Dogs. He's got runners in scoring position with 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. The Dogs trying to get on the board quickly and early here in the bottom of the first. So Dolan is ready. Fullwood in his windup. And here's the pitch. Down the middle, called strike 1. So no balls and 1 strike. A nice evening here tonight for baseball. Good crowd on the visitors' side. Folks traveling down from Booneville, I imagine. Some players, I saw some players' parents here, also some players' girlfriends or fiancés or just friends. And same thing down the first base side. 1-1. And that one misses for ball 2, and the count now 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike with 2 outs here to Dolan. Dolan has an empty spot at first base. Would love to take up that spot. Here's the pitch. And that one misses 3-1. So 1 more ball, and he will head down to first base and take his spot there. Let's see what Jalen Fullwood has up his sleeves here with a 3-1 count. And here's the pitch. Inside and high for ball 4. And that will load the bases for Roberto Valdez Jr.
Now batting for your Mohawk Valley DiamondDawgs, second baseman number 6 from St. John's University, Roberto Valdez Jr.
So Roberto Valdez Jr., the second baseman for the Dogs, has bases loaded. He's hitting .152 on the season and would love to increase that batting average here with bases loaded here in the bottom of the first. No score thus far, but Dogs knocking on the door here in the bottom half of the first inning. So Valdez Jr. in the box, ready to go, awaiting Jalen Fullwood. Fullwood winds and delivers, and down the middle for a call, strike 1. So 0-1 count with 2 outs here. Here's the pitch. And that one is high and inside for ball 1, and the count now 1-1. Backed him off a little bit. Did Fullwood. Valdez had to back off the plate just a tad, or that would have hit him. And the count 1-1 with bases loaded here and 2 outs. Here's the windup now from Fullwood and the pitch. Called strike 2. That one catches the outside portion of the plate. And the count now 1-2. So Valdez has got to stay alive here with bases loaded in the bottom of the first. Here's Fullwood now with the windup and the pitch. Outside, down low. Ball 2. And deuces wild here again for Mohawk Valley in the bottom of the first. 2 balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs. Roberto Valdez Jr., the second baseman, at the plate. Here's the pitch. And big swing and a miss by Valdez. He chases that one, leaves all the runners stranded. No score after 1 here in Mohawk Valley.
Booneville 0, Mohawk Valley 0.
At GPO, we understand every member's journey is unique. That's why our employees take the time to listen, understand, and deliver personalized solutions that fit your life. From budgeting to borrowing, we're with you every step of the way. Your journey, our commitment. GPO Federal Credit Union, committed to excellence.
At Hummel's Office Plus, our customers remain our #1 priority. Hi, Central New York. This is Justin Hummel, CEO of Hummel's Office Plus. If you are in need of a reliable, competitive, and consistent business product supplier, give Hummel's a try. We offer customized pricing, free next-day delivery, and personalized service. With our wide assortment of office supplies, janitorial supplies, furniture, and everything else you need for your workplace, Hummel's is your go-to for all your business products.
Academy, Carson Beatty.
And we are back for the start of the top of the second. Carson Beatty will lead things off for the Lumberjacks here in the top of the second. Carson Beatty will be followed by Will Hill and Ian Farber. So Beatty, a left-handed hitter. And the first pitch to him is down low for ball one. So 1 ball and no strikes. Beatty hitting 184 for the Lumberjacks. He is the extra hitter tonight. There's a big swing and a miss by Beatty. The count now 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike with Will Hill on deck. That pitch called a strike outside corner. And the count now jumps to 1-2. So Donlin ahead here in the count. Looking to finish off Beatty if he can. Here's the 1-2 now as he winds and delivers. And that ball hit the second base. Second baseman scoops it up, throws on over for the out. And that is out number 1. That was Roberto Valdez Jr. making the play for the Dogs.
Now batting for the Lumberjacks, center fielder number 7 from the University of Texas, Will Hill.
So Will Hill now the batter. That's a nice, easy name to announce. I don't think we can screw that one up. So Will Hill, unless it's Will Heel. And that one misses for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Hill, a 206 hitter, hitting 1 home run on the season. He's a center fielder here for the Lumberjacks here tonight. 1-0 count. Here's the windup and the pitch. And that is high for ball 2. So 2 balls, no strikes here to Will Hill. Ian Farber on deck. 1 out, nobody on. Top of the second, no score. Here from Veteran Memorial Park in Little Falls, you are listening to Perfect Game Collegiate League Baseball. Here's the pitch. And that is ball 3. So 3 balls and no strikes to Hill here. As Donlin working quickly, waiting for Hill to get back on the box. Here's the 3-0 pitch. And there's a strike. 3 balls and 1 strike. So Donlin works pretty quickly. Gets the ball, gets his sign, and right back to work. A lot of times he's waiting on the hitter to get back on the box. 3-1 the count. Here's the windup and the pitch. And there is ball 4. So Hill will take his base. He will get walked. And Ian Farber will be the batter for the Lumberjacks.
First baseman number 31 from Niagara County Community College, Ian Farber.
So Ian Farber, another left-hander, now at the plate for the Lumberjacks. He's got a runner on first, does Farber. Here's the windup and the pitch. Called strike 1. 0-1 to Farber, who's hitting 178 with 2 home runs. And he's the leader in the home run category in the lineup tonight. 2 home runs for Farber, 1 for Hill, 1 for Marshall. And that is it. And actually, Elijah Negron with 3 home runs. 0-2 now the count to Farber. Runner on first base here for the Lumberjacks. No balls and 2 strikes with 1 out. Here's the windup and the pitch. One and 2 the count now to Farber. Here's the windup and the pitch from Donlin. Actually, he's going to go back to first before he delivers. And the rider slides back quickly. And the count remains 1-2. That runner, Will Hill, at first base. Being held on by the first baseman for the Dogs. That is Connor Scallon. Here's the pitch. Runner starts to take off and backs up. And that one misses for ball 2. And the count now 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out. Elijah Negron on deck for Booneville. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Runner on first base taking a short lead. Here's the pitch. High for ball 3. And another full count here from Donlin versus Farber. So let's see who wins this duel here, whether it's Donlin or Farber at the plate. 3-2. Here's the windup now and the pitch from Dowling. And big swing and a miss. And down goes Farber for out number 2. So Farber strikes out. And Elijah Negron,
Third baseman number 4 from Maryland.
with 3 home runs and a 184 hitter, will come to the plate. So Negron, the third baseman for the Lumberjacks. And he will step into the batter's box with a runner on first base and 2 outs. So Dowling looking in, getting a sign. He sets, looks at the runner at first base, takes a long stare before he delivers the pitch. Ball hit past the shortstop, into left field. And that is a base hit for Negron. And runners now on first and second here for the Lumberjacks.
Right fielder number 9 from Concordia University, Bronx Lewis.
So Bronx Lewis now the batter. Lewis, a left-handed bat for the Lumberjacks. Bronx Lewis hitting 128 on the season. He's a right fielder tonight wearing number 9. And he's got runners on first and second here in the top of the second with 2 outs. Here's the pitch. And that went high for ball 1. So 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs. Runners on first and second, both taking short leads, not being held on. And a runner dancing around at second base. Here's the pitch. Called strike 1. That catches the outside corner. And the count 1-1. So a ball and a strike. Bronx Lewis at the plate. Noah Reed on deck. And runners on first and second base for Booneville. That is Negron and Will Hill. 1-1 pitch. High, ball 2. Well, 2 balls and 1 strike with 2 outs. Here's the windup and the pitch. That one misses high for ball 3, and the count now 3-1 to Lewis. So only 1 spot remains. Runners on first and second here, and Lewis facing a 3-1 count with 2 outs. Here's the windup and the pitch now from Donlin. Taking a long look at the runner at second before he delivers the pitch. And little blooper. And over the head of the shortstop. He tried to grab that. Unable to make the grab. Run will score. And Booneville goes up 1-0 after the single from Bronx Lewis.
Number 5 from North Central Texas College, Noah Reed.
So Noah Reed, the left fielder, hitting 263. Right-handed batter will step into the batter's box. Again, with the runners on first and second here for the Lumberjacks. And 2 outs and a 1-0 lead for Booneville. So Donlin looks in to get his sign from his catcher, Santiago. Looks at the runner at second. He's not being held. Here's the pitch. And that one misses, ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes to Noah Reed. Again, a 263 hitter is Reed as he awaits the 1-0 pitch here. Here it is. And big swing and a miss by Reed, and that will even the count at 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike. So this game here tonight, then 1 more tomorrow night, and that'll do it for the home games for the Dogs. And then 1 more game to end this season, and then we see where things end up. So every game matters here over the next 3 days. 3 games for Mohawk Valley, 3 for Oneonta, and Mohawk Valley sitting 1 game out behind Oneonta on the outside looking in to the playoffs as we speak. Oneonta not playing tonight. Off night here for them. They're back at it tomorrow. 1-2. Runner at second dancing around, and there's a swing and a miss, and Reed strikes out, and that'll do it for the inning, but 1 run does score, and Booneville goes up 1-0 after this.
Spring into action and get started on your home projects with Little Falls Lumber. Get your free estimate today for that project, big or small. Little Falls Lumber, they're always happy to help.
Stop by one of our 3 convenient locations and speak to one of our knowledgeable salesmen about your next project.
At NBT Bank, we know that this day starts with this one. This day starts with this one. Because no matter how unforgettable the extraordinary days are, there's a lot of every day that leads up to them. You can count on NBT Bank to help you get started. NBT Bank, it starts here.
Valley DiamondDawgs. Third baseman.
And we're back for the start of the bottom of the second.
Ramayana Venkat.
And it'll be Harsh Ramayana Venkat leading off here for the Dogs in the bottom of the third, followed by Ryan Payne and Jaden Santiago. Here's the windup and the pitch from Fullwood. And that's a strike to count 0-1. So Harsh hitting .273 on the season, still looking for his first home run. Here's the windup and the pitch. That's inside, that hits him. And he'll take his base, so Harsh Venkat hit by a pitch.
Now batting for your Mohawk Valley DiamondDawgs. Shortstop, number 27 from Fairfield University, Ryan Payne.
So here's Ryan Payne, the shortstop for the Dogs. Payne hitting .154 on the season for Mohawk Valley. And he steps into the box here, awaiting the first pitch to him from Jalen Fullwood. Nobody out, runner on first, shows bunt, pops it up, and into foul territory behind home plate. And the count 0-1. So the ball's in a strike to Payne. Payne looks down the third base line to Coach Louie, gets his instructions, and will make his way back into the box with an 0-1 count. So Fullwood looks in, glances over his shoulder at the runner at first base, and delivers. And that ball hit right past the first baseman. The first baseman stuck his glove out, but that ball was coming fast and went right past him for a base hit. And runners now on first and second for the Dogs.
Now batting for your Mohawk Valley DiamondDawgs, catcher number 7 from Columbia University, Jaden Santiago.
So here's Jaden Santiago. Santiago hitting .169 on the year here for the Dogs. He is the catcher tonight. And he's got runners on first and second here with nobody out. Santiago showing bunt. And the pitch, and pulls it back for a called strike one. So the count 0-1 to Santiago. First baseman on the grass, just outside the grass, now creeping in the grass, and shows bunt, so he's going to get in the infield deep here. He's creeping, here he comes. And the ball hit down the third base line, perfect bunt, and he throws it high. And a run will score for the Dogs. So a costly error for Booneville scores the run, and the game tied 1-1, and Santiago safe at first base.
Now batting for your Mohawk Valley DiamondDawgs, center fielder number 4 from Fairfield University, Jake Hardy.
So we go back to the top of the lineup with Jake Hardy. Hardy popped out in his first at bat. So now he's got runners on second and third. And that ball gets away from the catcher, and here comes another run. And the Dogs take a 2-0 lead after that ball took a big bounce on Bischoff. And now a runner on third base with nobody out, and the Dogs now lead 2-1. So Hardy hitting .373 with 2 home runs on the year here. He is at the plate with a 1-0 count and a runner on third base, and now a 2-1 lead for the Dogs. Here's the windup and the pitch. Swing and a miss, and that will even the count at 1-1. So 2 errors already here for Booneville. The Dogs took advantage. Here's the pitch, and that one hit into right center field, and that's going to score another run. That's going to get away from the center fielder, and he's going to get all the way to second base. Will Hardy, and another run scores for the Dogs. They take a 3-1 lead. So Kyle Coleman now the batter.
Right fielder number 25 from Belmont University, Kyle Coleman.
So with nobody out, very dangerous bat coming to the plate for the Dogs. One of the leaders for the Dogs in home runs, Kyle Coleman. He is tied with Connor Scallon for 6 home runs, and he's got a runner on second base here. Nobody out. That one misses, ball 1. So Booneville scores a run in the top of the second. Dogs bounce right back and respond with 3 of their own. 1-0 count. Here's the pitch. And as inside, spun him around a little bit, almost hit him. And the count now 2-0. And with that, Bischoff is going to go out and talk to his pitcher, Jalen Fullwood, with a 2-0 count. Trying to settle him down a bit here. And so Bischoff will trot back behind home plate. And Coleman will make his way back into the batter's box with a 2-0 count here. So 2-0 the count, nobody out. Runner on second base, not being held by the second baseman. He creeps in just a bit, and now he's going to creep out. And there's a call, strike 1. That hits the inside portion of the plate, or outside portion of the plate, I'm sorry, and the count 2-1. So 2 balls and a strike here to Kyle Coleman. Number 2 batter in the lineup for the Dogs. Inside, and the count now 3-1 to Coleman. And Coleman hitting the ball well this season for the Dogs. .307 is the batting average, 6 home runs. And the count 3-1 with a runner on second, nobody out. Here's the windup pitch. And that's a shot to left field. Left fielder is at the wall, and that is good for home run number 7 for Kyle Coleman. So a 2-run home run for Kyle Coleman, his 7th home run of the year. And the Dogs jump out ahead 5-1.
Let's hear it, buddy. Let's give him a big mark as he comes on home.
So we said it, Kyle Coleman, dangerous bat for the Dogs. And he does it again, does Coleman, for home run number 7. So he's got sole possession of the most home runs on the Dogs with 7.
From Fairfield University, Connor Scanlon.
So Connor Scallon, who walked. So he's going to, in order to keep pace with Coleman, he's got to hit a home run here. He's got 6 home runs on the season as well. Here's the windup and the pitch. And that's fouled off, the count 0-1. So 5-1 now the score for the Dogs after the 2-run home run by Kyle Coleman. Scanlon with an 0-1 count. Here's the windup, the pitch, and in the dirt. Picked up by Bischoff. Every time I say the name Bischoff, I think of the WCW wrestler. Eric Bischoff. 1-1. Here's the pitch. And there's a swing and a miss, and the count 1-2. That's a great name to just keep saying, Bischoff. 1-2. We're kind of going back to our childhood here, folks, with Bischoff. There's another shot to left field. This one's carrying a bit, and it is at the wall, not far enough, but just a few inches away for Scanlon, and he would have tied Coleman with 7 home runs. So the race between them continues.
DiamondDawgs left fielder number 19 from George Washington University, Brody Frecker.
So Brody Frecker, who reached on an error in E5 in his first at bat, now will come to the plate with a .321 batting average, 3 home runs for Frecker, and a runner on second base. Still nobody out here for the Dogs in the bottom half of the second. They've tallied 5 runs thus far on 3 hits. 1. Here's the pitch to Frecker with that runner on second. And that one gets away, and the runner is going to head over to third base in the count 1-0. 1-0. So 1 ball, no strikes. First pitch to Frecker gets away from Bischoff. So 1-0 the count here to Frecker. Frecker, the left fielder for the Dogs. A right-handed bat. Here's the pitch. And that one hit hard between the gap between the shortstop and third baseman, and the runner will trot home. And the Dogs extend the lead to 6-1 after the single from Frecker.
Now that for your Dogs, designated hitter number 35 from Seton Hall, Jake Dolan.
So Jake Dolan, who walked in his first at bat, will come to the plate to continue the inning with nobody out. He is the DH runner on first. And there's the pitch. And that's a shot to left field. That's going to drop in. And he's going to head all the way to second base. So a stand-up double, as this one gives him trouble. He's going to keep going. And this is going to be a triple. And he slides in safely. A triple for Jake Dolan. And another run scores for the Dogs. That ball hit into left field. Caused some trouble. Going all the way to the wall. And Dolan dug it out and made it a triple. So here's Roberto Valdez Jr. Still nobody out. 7-1 Dogs. They're just laying it on here in the bottom of the second for Mohawk Valley. Dogs showing that they're hungry for that last playoff spot. And that one in the dirt for ball 1. So Bischoff getting his work in behind the plate here tonight. Here's the windup and the pitch. And that is popped into right field, and it's going to go out of play. And the count 1-1. So a ball and a strike to Valdez Jr., who struck out in his first at bat. Valdez Jr., a right-handed batter for the Dogs. Runner on third here for the Dogs with nobody out. Here's the pitch. And that ball is lifted up into right field. The right fielder is going to make the catch. And the runner will tag up, and he will score. And the Dogs extend the lead to 8-1. So a sac fly for Valdez scores a run. And the Dogs jump out ahead 8-1 with Harsh Venkat coming to the plate. So here's Harsh Ramayana Venkat. He was hit by a pitch last time. Up, here's the pitch. And pulls that one back for ball 1. So a ball and a strike to Venkat here. Venkat, the third baseman. 1 ball, no strikes. And that one sneaks away from the catcher. And the count now 2-0. So 2-0 count here to Venkot. We are on the bottom of the second. Dogs 8-1 lead. That one's popped up into right field. Right fielder drifting over. Makes the catch for out number 2.
And now batting for your dog, shortstop, number 27 from Fairfield University, Ryan Payne.
So Ryan Payne, and now the batter, he's singled in his first at bat here tonight, and he will step into the batter's box with 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. Dogs having themselves an inning, 8-run inning thus far, and an 8-1 lead here in the bottom of the second. Here's Payne at the plate, and here's the pitch from Fullwood. High for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs. Fullwood winds and delivers, and called strike 1 inside portion of the plate. The count 1-1. Payne backed off, thought maybe that was a little too inside, went and hit the corner. And the count 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. And down low for ball 2. So 2-1 now. Fullwood winds and delivers on the 2-1, followed off by Payne, in the count now even at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Payne. Here is the pitch. And that is called strike 3. That'll do it for the inning, but not before the Dogs put up 8 runs. They take an 8-1 lead after 2. Back after this.
Little Falls, New York combines the charms of a small town with the conveniences of a much larger city. Of course, you'd expect to find welcoming people, beautiful scenery, family-friendly activities, and plenty to do outdoors. But you might be surprised to find that Little Falls, New York also has an espresso bar, gem shop, art center, French restaurant, antique centers, local hospital, and extensive civic services and amenities. Not to mention homes both beautiful and affordable, nestled in a dramatic natural setting amongst steep hills that descend to the Mohawk River and Erie Canal. Little Falls, New York. It's a great place to spend a few days or a lifetime.
Grand Rapids Community College, Seth Bischoff.
So we're back. Seth Bischoff will lead things off here for Booneville in the top of the third. It'll be Bischoff followed by the number 1 hitter Davis, and then Zeb Swingham. 1 ball, no strikes to Bischoff here. Bischoff hitting 186 on the season. Here's the windup in the pitch by Donlin. That's popped up into foul territory, and the count 1-1. So a ball and a strike to Bischoff here. Here's the windup and the pitch. And that ball is hit hard into left field and is going out of play and foul, and the count now 1-2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. One and 2 here, the count to Bischoff. Again, Bischoff, Davis, and Swingham all due up here in the top of the third. Ball and 2 strikes. Here's the windup and the pitch from Donlin. And calls strike 3. And that is good for out number 1.
Now batting for the Lumberjacks, second baseman number 23 from Alcorn State University, Canius Davis.
So Canius Davis, who grounded out in his first at bat. Now the batter for Booneville. So Davis in the box awaiting the pitch here from Jack Donlin. Here's the pitch. Call strike 1 and the count 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. And 1 out. Here's the windup and the pitch. And they're going to check. And no, he did not go. And the count 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the windup and the pitch from Donlin now. And there's a call to strike 2 in the count now, 1-2. So 1-2 the count, 1 out, nobody on. Top of the third, 8-1 Dogs. And here's Jack Donlin winding and delivering with the 1-2. Swing and a miss. And there is strike 3. So out number 2 as Davis strikes out.
From UNC Asheville, Zeb Swingham.
So here's Zeb Swingham. Swingham struck out in his first attempt here tonight against Donlin. And he'll get a second chance here. He'll do so with 2 outs and nobody on. And then the top of the third, down 8-1. Here's Donlin with the windup pitch. Called strike 1. No balls in the strike here to Swingham. Swingham hitting 200 on the year before coming into this game. A 1 pitch. Popped up high. And the first baseman calls everybody off, makes the catch, ends the inning. Quick inning for Booneville. Score remains 8-1.
Some people might think that the tire shop in Canajoharie only does tires. Nah, that's only their name. The tire shop does so much more. Oil changes, custom wheels, interstate batteries, computer wheel balancing, tire repair service and recapping, auto accessories, tire chains, ag bags, bale and net wrap, and much more. And when it comes to tires, the tire shop in Canajoharie also does so much more. Lawn and garden tires, off the road, backhoe, loader tires, log skidder, agricultural, ATV and UTV tires, and on the farm tire services. The tire shop is a multi-line new tire dealer. That means they're quite a choice for top brand name tires for your car, truck, SUV, semi-tractor, and trailer, all at great prices. They're also a Goodyear national accounts and state contract pricing location. Financing available too. Find more information and a list of services at thetireshop.biz. Thetireshop.biz. Open Monday through Saturday, 8 to 6. Yes, Saturday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. The Tire Shop, 155 Erie Boulevard in Canajoharie.
And we are back for the bottom of the third inning. Jaden Santiago will lead things off for the Dogs. It'll be Santiago, Hardy, and Coleman. So here's Santiago. He reached on an error in his first at bat, and he'll pop that one foul. And the count is 0-1 to Santiago. Santiago hitting 169, has the catching duties here tonight for the Dogs. 0-1 the count. And there's another pitch right down the middle, and the count now 0-2. So ahead in the count here is Fullwood on Santiago. 0-2. Fullwood sets now, winds, and delivers. Swing and a miss as Santiago chases that one. And he will strike out for out number 1.
Center fielder number 4 from Fairfield University, Jake Hardy.
So Jake Hardy now the batter for Mohawk Valley. Hardy, a right-handed batter. He's popped out and singled already here tonight. This is his third at bat. And here's the pitch. Hit to center field. High is at the wall and is gone. A home run for Jake Hardy. So Jake Hardy goes yard, his third home run of the season. Second home run of the game here for the Dogs. So Jake Hardy takes it yard in center field. Hit that straightaway center. And he now has 3 home runs on the season, does Hardy, and the Dogs have a 9-1 lead. So Kyle Coleman, who hit a 2-run home run earlier, will try to go back-to-back here after Hardy went yard and Coleman went yard in his home run. Let's see what we can get here. There's the windup and the pitch. In the dirt, ball 1. So Hardy took that ball straight center. 1-0. The count to Coleman. There's the windup and the pitch. Inside, and the count 2-0. 2-0 count, 1 out. Here's the pitch. And that's popped up into a right field foul. And the count 2-1 to Coleman. Connor Scanlon on deck for the Dogs. But first it's Coleman with a 2-1 count ready to face Fullwood here. Fullwood delivers high for ball 3. And Fullwood will throw that ball back, doesn't like it. We'll get a fresh one thrown back to him. So 3 balls and 1 strike, 1 out. Here's the windup and the pitch from Fullwood. Swing and a miss for strike 2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. And that one is lifted to right field. And that is caught for out number 2. So Coleman lifts that one to right field for a pop fly.
First baseman number 9 from Fairfield University, Connor Scanlon.
So Connor Scanlon now will come to the plate. He has walked and doubled here tonight for the Dogs. And he's going to step into the box with a 9-1 lead here in the bottom of the 3rd. And nobody on base with 2 outs. Here's Fullwood with the windup and the pitch. Outside and low for ball 1. Fullwood looks in. Winds, delivers. And that ball hit in the gap between the shortstop and the third baseman for a base hit. And so a walk, a double, and a single so far tonight for Scanlon. So Brody Frecker, who reached on an error and a single earlier, will now come to the plate. Frecker has 3 home runs and .321 batting average and 2 outs and a runner on first base. 9-1 lead for the Dogs, looking for more here in the bottom of the 3rd. And there's a strike to count, 0-1. But no balls and 1 strike. Fullwood looks over at the runner at first base. And now will wind and deliver. That one misses. And the count 1-1. So a ball and a strike here to Scanlon. I'm sorry, Frecker. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss. And the count now 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner on first taking a short lead, 1-2. Here's the pitch. Outside, ball 2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. Fullwood ready. And he's going to deliver on this 2-2. And swing and a miss, and down goes Frecker. And that'll do it for the inning. Score 9-1 Dogs.
If you are looking for some shopping and dining, head on over to Canal Place, where you will find quaint shops, galleries, restaurants, and inns situated in the old mill buildings and storefronts along the waterfront of Canal Place. They've become known as the happening place for the arts in the Mohawk Valley. Not so long ago, many of these buildings were working mills serving the garment industry. Even today, after conversion to serve as retail space, many of these rugged but lovely structures speak to our great regional manufacturing heritage. If you're looking for fine arts, entertainment, or antiques, you simply must pay a visit to Canal Place.
Number 28 from Northwestern University, Masai Marshall.
So here's Masai Marshall leading things off here in the top of the fourth for Booneville. So Masai Marshall, the batter who popped out. And we're just going over how things look for the Dogs in Oneonta the next couple of days. We'll let you know in a second here. So for the Dogs, they are a game behind Oneonta, sitting in 5th place. Obviously, they're playing tonight here, winning 9-1. Tomorrow, last home game against Glens Falls. Then they play Saugerties at Saugerties, and that'll be it for the season for them. Now for Oneonta, they play Booneville twice and Amsterdam. So now Booneville, I'm sure, will be trying to play spoilers, because why not, right? And ball hit to third baseman Vencott. He picks it up, throws across, and that is out number 1. So Marshall grounds out, and Carson Beatty now the batter.
Carson Beatty.
So Carson Beatty, who popped out, is the batter here for Booneville in the top of the 4th with 1 out. Here's the windup and the pitch. And it's fouled off the count 0-1. So no balls and a strike. Beatty, left-handed batter here for Booneville. 0-1 the count. Here's the pitch. Outside. And the count 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Down low for ball 2. And 2-1 is Donlin here to Beatty. Will Hill is on deck with 1 out here. Nobody on here for Booneville. 2-1 pitch on the way. Big swing and a miss there for Beatty as he was looking for his first home run of the year. He's a 184 hitter, no home runs thus far. The way he was swinging that bat, he was looking to go yard. 2-2. Here's the pitch. Down low for ball 3, and the count now 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out. That ball hit right at the pitcher up the middle for a base hit by Beatty. That one went right through the mound, past the second baseman, out to center field for the base hit.
Will Hill.
So Will Hill, now the batter for Booneville. Hill with 1 home run and 206 batting average. Walked in his first at bat. And he's got 1 out and a runner on first down. 9-1 here in the top of the 4th. Here's a called strike 1. 0-1. And that pitch is left high, and the count now 1-1. So a ball and a strike here to Will Hill. One pitch coming from Dowling with a runner on first. Runner taking a short lead. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss for strike 2. And that brings us to 1-2 to Will Hill. One ball and 2 strikes. Again, runner on first being held on by Scanlon. Short lead. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That's fouled off. That's a souvenir for one of our fans here in the tennis court area. One of the fans playing basketball out there and saw the ball just kind of whiz past him. A little surprised. And it looks like a kid picks up the ball and gets a nice souvenir. And they count 1-2. And there's a swing and a miss for called strike 3 for out number 2 to Will Hill. So Ian Farber, who struck out in his first at bat, will come to the plate now. So here is Farber, another strikeout victim in his first at bat. He will face Donlin here with 2 outs. Down low for ball 1. So quietly for Donlin, 6 strikeouts in this ball game. 1-0. And that one's fouled off, and they count 1-1. One ball and 1 strike here to Farber. Farber, the first baseman for Booneville. 1-1 pitch coming from Donlin. And that one misses for ball 2, and the count 2-1. So 2-1 pitch here from Donlin. And that's fouled off, the count now 2-2. But just getting a piece of that one is Farber, and the count now 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. With 2 outs, 9-1 the score. Dogs ahead, top of the 4th. Runner on first for Booneville. One more strike needed here for Dowling to get out of this inning. He looks at the runner at first, winds and delivers, and that is left high by Farber, and the count now full at 3-2. So full count here to Ian Farber. And Farber's one of the local kids here in the lineup for Booneville. Farber from West Canada. And there's called a strike 3 to Farber. That'll do it for the inning. Score remains 9-1 Dogs.
Hey fans, tell the world you are here at Veterans Memorial Park watching your Mohawk Valley DiamondDawgs. Share your experiences, connect with other fans, and gain behind-the-scenes access to your favorite team. For more information, visit mvdiamonddogs.com or like us on Facebook or follow us on Instagram and Twitter.
Seton Hall, Jake Dolan.
And we're back. Jake Dolan will lead things off here for the Dogs in the bottom of the fourth. It's Jake Dolan, Roberto Valdez Jr., and then Harsh Ramayana Venkat all due up here in the bottom of the fourth. The Dogs with a 9-1 lead. A new pitcher on the mound for Booneville is a right-hander, Will Markwood. So Will Markwood now pitching for Booneville. And first pitch is a ball to Dolan. Dolan has walked and tripled tonight. There's the pitch. Swing and a miss. And that is strike one. The count 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Dolan. And a right-handed pitcher versus the righty here. One in the dirt. For ball 2 in the count now, 2-1. 2 balls and 1 strike. Fans, if you are in the area, good time to come to the ballpark. We got a good sale going on shirts and hats. Make sure you come on down and try to snag one of those. Can't guarantee they'll be here tomorrow, but if you do come tomorrow, they're still available. Make sure you grab those, and you can look good all summer long in that gear. So great deals going on here. Kind of our clearance sale for the year. 2-1 now the count. 2-2 the count. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Inside. Ball 3. So full count here from Markwood to Dolan. Markwood looks in, picks up a sign from his catcher. 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss for out number 1.
Now batting for your Mohawk Valley DiamondDawgs, second baseman, number 6, from St. John's University, Roberto Valdez Jr.
So Roberto Valdez Jr., he struck out. Also reached on a sac, or he struck out and hit into a sac fly. And he's at the plate with 1 out, nobody on. Top 4 Dogs lead 9-1. And there's a strike. The count 0-1. On count. Markwood looking in. And can deliver on the 0-1. And that ball curves away in the dirt. And the count 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Valdez Jr., the batter. Here's the pitch. Ball hit sharply to center field for a base hit for Valdez Jr.
Now batting for your Mohawk Valley DiamondDawgs, third baseman, number 21, from Brown University, Harsh Ramayana Venkat.
So here is Harsh Ramayana Venkat, excuse me. And there's a swing and a miss. And the count 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Here's the 0-1. And that's fouled off. And the count now 0-2 to Venkat. So no balls and 2 strikes here to Venkat. Runner on first, taking a short lead. 1 out. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss for strike 3. So he goes down swinging. He goes Venkat. And Ryan Payne will come to the plate.
Shortstop, number 27, from Fairfield University, Ryan Payne.
So Ryan Payne with 2 outs will step into the batter's box here. He's a right-handed batter to face the righty in Markwood. Markwood's got 2 outs. He's got a runner on first base here in the bottom of the fourth, sorry. And that one sails across for a ball. It was high, and the count 1-0. Payne has singled and struck out looking here tonight. 1-0 the count. Runner at first, taking a short lead. Here's the pitch. And that one's fouled off his foot as Payne in a little bit of pain, but not too bad as he walks it off. And the count 1-1. So a ball and a strike here to Ryan Payne as he makes his way back into the batter's box with a 1-1 count. And a runner on first base with 2 outs. Runner being held on at first. Here's the pitch. And that is fouled off, and the count now 1-2. So a ball and 2 strikes to Ryan Payne. Jaden Santiago awaits on deck with 2 outs here. 1-2 the count. Will Markwood delivers the pitch, swing and a miss, and that will do it for the inning. Dogs lead 9-1 after 4.
After 4 full phase, the score, Mohawk Valley 9, Booneville 1.
Visit the Daily Post and stay connected with the latest news, information, and events in the Mohawk Valley. Our mission is to generate interest in the area and connect residents in a more meaningful way by facilitating deeper conversations about how these stories will shape the future of the Mohawk Valley. Join thousands of weekly visitors who stay up to date with feature stories, interviews, videos, our event calendar, and print publication, the Mohawk Valley Express. It's about timely local news for the community, keeping citizens informed about important issues, telling about the people who live and work here, and giving locally owned businesses the opportunity to reach a very targeted audience of locals and tourists alike. It's a whole new form of media-rich content developed specifically for today's mobile lifestyle and listeners. You can download our iOS app in the iTunes Store, listen to our podcast, or sign up for our weekly email newsletter. Stop by today at thedailypost.digital. You'll be glad you did.
And we are back. New pitcher on the mound for Mohawk Valley, Allie Hood. So Allie Hood now pitching for Mohawk Valley. Hood, a right-handed pitcher. And Elijah Negron is the batter, the third baseman, I'm sorry. And here's a pitch by Hood. Swing and a miss. Strike one. So 9-1 the score here in the top of the 5th. Dogs are ahead. Oh, and 1. Here's the pitch. And a little chopper back to Hood. Picks it up, and he will scoop it over to first base for out number 1. So Negron grounds on to the pitcher, Bronx Lewis, now the batter.
Number 9 from Concordia University, Bronx Lewis.
So here's Bronx Lewis, the right fielder. He singled with an RBI in his first at bat here tonight. Left-hander is Lewis facing the righty and Hood. 1 out here, top 5. 9-1 Dogs. Here's the pitch by Hood. Called strike 1. That ball curved in for a strike in the count 0-1. So no balls and a strike with 1 out. Here is the pitch, and that is popped up. And third baseman Venkat in foul territory makes the grab. Out number 2.
Now batting for the Lumberjacks, left fielder number 5 from North Central Texas College, Noah Reed.
So here's Noah Reed, who struck out in his first attempt here tonight. He will face Ali Hood for the first time here. So Reed, a right-handed batter to face the righty here in Hood. Hood winds and delivers, and that just misses for ball 1. So 1 ball, no strikes to Noah Reed. Again, Reed struck out, swinging in his first at bat. 1-0. Nobody on, 2 outs. Top 5. Here's the pitch. Outside corner, call a strike, and the count even at 1-1 here from Hood. A 1-1 count. Hood looks in, winds and delivers. Swing and a miss as he chases that one, doesn't Reed, and the count now jumps to 1-2. Well, ball and 2 strikes. Hood needing 1 more strike here to get out of this inning pretty quickly. 1-2 with 2 outs. Here's Hood now with the windup and the 1-2 pitch. And a little chopper down the third base line, foul. And the count stays put at 1-2. So Noah Reed back in the box, ready to face Ali Hood. Hood looks in, gets his sign. 1-2. Here's the pitch. Called. Strike 3. And that does it for the inning. Another quick inning. And the score remains 9-1 Dogs. Bottom 5 coming up.
We know pools. Garrity Pools and Spa are the experts in building and creating backyard memories for thousands of families. Garrity takes pride in offering only the highest quality in-ground Pacific pool and radiant above-ground pools that are built for upstate New York weather. Garrity offers only the best with BioGuard chemicals to keep your pool sparkling clean. Visit the professionals at Garrity Pools and Spa, 234 South Caroline Street, Herkimer, or GarrityPools.com.
Wake up and smell the sizzle at your local Burger King. Burger King is open for breakfast 7 days a week. Your mornings deserve the royal treatment. So dive in to try our delicious breakfast sandwiches, savor our savory hash browns, and wash it all down with a hot or iced coffee. Whether it's Monday or Sunday, we've got your breakfast cravings covered. Swing by BK today to have it your way. You rule at participating U.S. restaurants during breakfast hours.
University, Jaden Santiago.
And we are back. Jaden Santiago will lead things off here for the Dogs in the bottom of the 5th inning with a 9-1 lead. It'll be Santiago, the bottom of the order, and then back to the top we go with Jake Hardy and Kyle Coleman. But first, here's Santiago. He reached on an error and struck out in his last at-bat. First pitch to him is a strike, and the count 0-1 from Mark Wood. So no balls and 1 strike. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and that one sails away for strike 2. The big swing and a miss by Santiago on the count 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Santiago had a problem catching up to that ball. 0-2. So Mark Wood looks in, and he's ready to deliver the pitch, and it's fouled off on the count 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes to Santiago. No balls, 2 strikes. Markwood looks in. And he will deliver on the 0-2 pitch. Here it is. That one misses, and they count 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Santiago here. Santiago looking for his first hit of the game here. I mentioned he struck out and reached on an error. Here's the 1-2. And that one misses, and they count 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Santiago. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Down low for ball 3, and the count now 3-2. Three balls and 2 strikes here to Santiago, so full count as Markwood sets and delivers. And that one misses for ball 4, and Santiago will walk to start the inning here for the Dogs.
Number 4 from Fairfield University, Jake Hardy.
So Jake Hardy, who homered on his last at bat, now will come to the plate here for the Dogs. He has homered, singled, and flew out here tonight. So nobody out, runner on first for the Dogs. So here's Hardy ready to face Markwood. Markwood looks in, looks over his shoulder at the runner at first base, and will deliver the pitch. And there's a swing and a miss by Hardy in the count 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Hardy here. Coleman awaits on deck. A 1 pitch. Swing and a miss for strike 2 in the count now 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. There's the 0-2 pitch in the dirt. And that is ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes. One, 2 count here to Hardy. Markwood delivers the pitch. And that is fouled off, and the count remains 1-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes here to Jake Hardy. Kyle Coleman awaits on deck. Markwood looks at the runner at first base. And now sets, winds, and delivers on the 1-2. Swing and a miss for strike 3. And down goes Hardy for out number 1.
Mohawk Valley DiamondDawgs, right fielder, number 25 from Belmont University, Kyle Coleman.
So Kyle Coleman now the batter for the Dogs. He hit a 2-run home run earlier in the ball game, and he can do the same thing here. He's got a runner on first base with 1 out. Here's the pitch, and it is high for ball 1. So that home run by Coleman put him over the top as the leader on the Dogs with 7 home runs. 1-0 the count here to Coleman with 1 out. Runner on first base here for the Dogs. They lead 9-1, bottom 5. And went into the dirt, and the count 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes with 1 out. So Coleman steps back into the box. 2-0. Here's the pitch. All hit hard to short. Short goes to second, over to first, and safe at first. They get the force out at second. And so a fielder's choice for Kyle Coleman, I'm sorry.
From Fairfield University, Connor Scanlon.
So Connor Scanlon will come to the plate with 2 outs after the fielder's choice by Kyle Coleman puts runners on first base only as the runner was forced out at second. So runner at first is Coleman. At the plate is Connor Scanlon. He has walked, doubled, and singled here tonight. 2 outs. Here's the pitch. The runner takes off. Here's the throw. Little bit of a bounce and not in time. And a stolen base for Coleman. So runner now in scoring position here for Connor Scanlon. And you hear it, folks. The train is early here in Little Falls here tonight. Nice Thursday evening, so the train engineer trying to get home early. 1-0 with 2 outs. And timeout is called, and Scanlon will step out. So 1-0 count once Scanlon gets back on the box to face Will Markwood. Markwood's got a runner on second with 2 outs, down 9-1 here in the bottom of the 5th. Markwood looks at the runner at second. Now delivers the pitch. And that is called strike one. The count 1-1. That one catches the bottom portion of the plate. And the count even at 1-1. A ball and a strike, 2 outs. There's the 1-1 pitch. And right back to the pitcher. He grabs it and will toss it over to first base to end the inning. So after 5 complete, Dogs lead 9-1.
At GPO, we understand every member's journey is unique. That's why our employees take the time to listen, understand, and deliver personalized solutions that fit your life. From budgeting to borrowing, we're with you every step of the way. Your journey, our commitment. GPO Federal Credit Union, committed to excellence.
At Hummel's Office Plus, our customers remain our #1 priority. Hi, Central New York. This is Justin Hummel, CEO of Hummel's Office Plus. If you are in need of a reliable, competitive, and consistent business product supplier, give Hummel's a try. We offer customized pricing, free next-day delivery, and personalized service. With our wide assortment of office supplies, janitorial supplies, furniture, and everything else you need for your workplace, Hummel's is your go-to for all your business products.
And we're back, and Seth Bischoff is going to lead things off here for Booneville in the top of the 6th, down 9-1. Bischoff struck out looking in his first at bat. Here's the pitch. All hit hard to Venkot, picks it up, and he throws across the diamond for out number 1. So Bischoff grounds out to third base for the first out of the top of the 6th.
Number 23 from Alcorn State, Canius Davis.
So Canius Davis, who grounded out and struck out tonight, will step into the box here to face Allie Hood with 1 out here in the top of the 6th. So Hood looks in here, and he's going to wind and deliver on the pitch. In the dirt for ball 1, the count 1-0 to Davis. After Davis, Zeb Swangam is on deck. So 1-0 to Davis. Davis, a right-handed batter facing the righty here in Hood. 1-0, nobody on, with 1 out here in the top of the 6th. Dogs lead 9-1. And that one down the middle, called strike 1. And the count now even at 1-1. So a ball and a strike. Parents' last chance to come out to the ballpark tomorrow. Glens Falls comes to town. Spend the Friday with us and watch the Dogs finish up the homestand in the season. Final home game here tomorrow night. 1-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here's the windup and the pitch. And that one misses for ball 2, and the count now 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out. Here's the 2-2 pitch from Hood. And called strike 3. And that is out number 2 as Davis looks back wondering how that was a strike.
Shortstop, number 2 from UNC Zeb Swingham.
So Zeb Swingham, who has struck out and flew out, will give his shot here at Allie Hood in the top of the 6th, down 9-1 with 2 outs and nobody on. Here's Hood with the pitch. Swing and a miss. And the count 0-1. No balls and 1 strike here from Hood to Swingham. Swingham, a right-handed batter facing the righty here in Hood. Hood winds and delivers, and that ball is hit to left field. Left fielder backs up, makes the catch, ends the inning, and we go to the bottom of the 6th, 9-1 Dogs.
Spring into action and get started on your home projects with Little Falls Lumber. Get your free estimate today for that project, big or small. Little Falls Lumber, they're always happy to help.
Stop by one of our 3 convenient locations and speak to one of our knowledgeable salesmen about your next project.
At NBT Bank, we know that this day starts with this one. This day starts with this one. Because no matter how unforgettable the extraordinary days are, there's a lot of every day that leads up to them. You can count on NBT Bank to help you get started. NBT Bank, it starts here.
And we're back for the bottom of the 6th. Brody Frecker will lead things off here for the Dogs. In the bottom of the 6th, they have a 9-1 lead to the Dogs. It'll be Frecker, Jake Dolan, and Roberto Valdez Jr. all due up here in the bottom of the 6th for the Dogs. Here's the pitch. And there's a called strike 1 to Frecker. The count 0-1. No balls and 1 strike. Here's the pitch. And that ball hit hard into center field for a base hit for Brody Frecker to start the inning.
Now batting for your Dogs. Designated hitter number 35 from Seton Hall, Jake Dolan.
So Jake Dolan now the batter for the Dogs. Here in the bottom of the 6th with nobody out. Runner on first base. Jake Dolan had a triple in this ball game already. He has walked and struck out. And he's ready here to face Will Markwood. Here's Markwood now. He sets, winds, and delivers. And there's a strike. And they count quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Markwood looking at that runner at first base. And now he's set. And will deliver on the 0-1. Swing and a miss for strike 2. And Markwood ahead in the count now to Dolan 0-2. Valdez on deck after Dolan. No balls and 2 strikes. Runner on first taking a short lead. Dogs lead 9-1, looking for more here in the bottom of the 6th. Markwood sets, kicks, winds, delivers. And there's a swing and a miss for strike 3 as Dolan strikes out.
Now batting for your Dogs. Second baseman number 6 from St. John's University, Roberto.
So Roberto Valdez Jr. now will come to the plate. Valdez Jr. has struck out, had a sac fly, and singled here this evening. He's got a runner on first base with 1 out. and a big 9-1 lead here for the Dogs. Big game for the Dogs. One game back of that final playoff spot. And that ball is ripped at the third baseman. They're going to throw back to first, and not in time. And they get one out as that ball was hit hard right at the third baseman. He grabbed it quickly and threw over to first and wasn't able to get the double play. So here's Harsh Ramayana Venkat. He struck out in his last at-bat, also flew out and was hit by a pitch in his first at-bat here tonight. He's going to face Will Markwood here with 2 outs and a runner on first. Here's the pitch. Runner takes off. Here's the throw. And not in time. Safe at second base. So a stolen base for Frecker. So 1 ball, no strikes. Here to Venkat, and the train has come back. Forgot a passenger, came all the way back around and picked him up. 1-0 count with 2 outs. And there's strike 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Ezzo not only runs the scoreboard, he runs the music. He is also the train conductor. 0-2 the count. You might ask, how does Ezzo operate the train and everything else? There's strike 3, and you're going to have to figure it out. That's the end of the inning. Back after this.
Little Falls, New York combines the charms of a small town with the conveniences of a much larger city. Of course, you'd expect to find welcoming people, beautiful scenery, family-friendly activities, and plenty to do outdoors. But you might be surprised to find that Little Falls, New York also has an espresso bar, gem shop, art center, French restaurant, antique centers, local hospital, and extensive civic services and amenities. Not to mention homes both beautiful and affordable, nestled in a dramatic natural setting amongst steep hills that descend to the Mohawk River and Erie Canal. Little Falls, New York. It's a great place to spend a few days or a lifetime.
Number 28 from Northwestern University, Masai Marshall.
And we are back, top of the 7th. Masai Marshall will lead things off here for Booneville. It'll be Masai Marshall, Carson Beatty, and Will Hill. Here's the pitch. And that one misses. Ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes to Marshall. Marshall 0 for 2. Popped out, grounded out. Allie Hood, the pitcher. And delivers on the 1-0. And there's a strike to count, 1-1. A ball and a strike here to Marshall, Masai Marshall to be exact. He's the DH. Hitting .216 with 1 home run entering this ball game. 1-1 pitch by Hood. Nice ball, a lot of movement. 1-2 the count. One more strike needed here by Allie Hood to finish off Masai Marshall if he can. Marshall steps out of the box. Gains his composure and steps back in. Facing a 1-2 here from Hood. Here it is. And that one misses by Hood. The count now 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Masai Marshall. Marshall is set. Hood is ready to go, and he will wind and deliver. Down low, ball 3, full count. So 3-2 the count here to Marshall. So Booneville, a tough season for them this year, 8-27. A lot of credit goes out to them. They played hard all year. They battled every game. So kudos to them. So Marshall 3-2 as Hood asked for a clean baseball. So here we go again, 3-2 the count. Allie Hood will wind and deliver here to Marshall, looking for strike 3. And he hits him. So the new ball didn't work. And a hit by pitch is Masai Marshall, so he'll take his base.
Number 36 from the Culinary Academy, Carson Beatty.
So Carson Beatty now the batter after the hit by pitch from Masai Marshall. As that ball that Allie Hood got, the new ball, it was broken. And that's why I hit him. So Carson Beatty now the batter. He has popped out and singled. He's a left-handed batter here for Booneville. Facing the righty in Allie Hood. He's got a runner on first base. Does Hood. And that one misses for ball one. The count 1-0. Well, top of the seventh, 9-1 Dogs ahead. As again, we talk about the pennant race that's going on. Dogs need this game to get within that one game of that fourth spot, and that's the prized possession. Everyone's kind of going for it right now, really down to the two teams, down to Oneonta and Mohawk Valley for the most part. 3 games left for both teams. And Oneonta not playing tonight. And they play Amsterdam and Booneville twice. Meanwhile, Mohawk Valley finishes out obviously here tonight with Booneville, then Amsterdam, then Glens Falls tomorrow, and then Amsterdam. I'm sorry, it's Saugerties. Got my names all messed up. Saugerties. So Booneville, Glens Falls, Saugerties, and for Oneonta, it is Booneville twice and Amsterdam once.
Center fielder number 7 from the University of Texas, Will Hill.
So Beatty will take his base and trip out to the mound here by the pitching coach for the Dogs. Nobody out. Runners on first and second here in the top of the 7th. Will Hill has walked and struck out. And no pitching change here. Just a trip out to the mound. So again, Hill hitting .206 with a home run on the season. He's the center fielder tonight. Nice short name. I like it. Will Hill. 3 letters. First name, 3-letter last name. Boom, done. Will Hill. So here is the pitch now from Hood to Hill. Swing and a miss, and the count 0-1. Again, runners on first and second here. Top 7, 9-1 Dogs are ahead. 0-1 count here to Will Hill. Hood winds and delivers, and that ball hit to the shortstop, picks it up. Oh, and he bobbled it, and it fell out of his hand. He was thinking about the double play, and he didn't have the ball yet. So he was heading over to toss it to the second baseman to get the double play, potentially. The ball slipped out of his hands. So nobody out now with bases loaded for Booneville. So with that, Ian Farber, who has struck out twice, struck out once swinging and once looking, now at the plate with bases loaded and nobody out. And that is fouled off by Farber in the count 0-1. So no balls and a strike here to Farber. Allie Hood, the pitcher on the mound for Mohawk Valley. Farber, a lefty. Hood, a righty. Here's the 0-1 pitch. And that one is hit to the first baseman. He looks back the runner at second for a second. And no time to do anything, so he's going to just throw it to the first baseman for the sure out. And a run scores here. Now the score 9-2 with the runners on second and third.
From Maryland Eastern Shore, Elijah Negron.
So Elijah Negron, who has singled and grounded out, will now step into the batter's box with runners in scoring position at second and third. They have gotten a run now, so 9-2 is the score with one out. We're in the top of the seventh. Here's the pitch. And there is strike uno. 0-1 the count to Farber. I'm sorry, Negron. 0-1. Hood looks in, delivers the 0-1 pitch. And Santiago has to take his mask off to find that one. He finally finds it. It was underneath him. And the count 1-1. So a ball and a strike to Negron. Bronx Lewis on deck with runners on a second and third. Just one out here for Booneville. Trying to get back into this ball game. Down 9-2 here in the top of the seventh. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss for strike two. And the count now to Elijah Negron, 1-2. Negron comes into this ball game with 3 home runs on the season, a 184 batting average. He has singled tonight and grounded out. 1-2 pitch on its way from Hood. And it's fouled off down the first base line, and the count's going to stay put at 1-2. So fans soaking up the last couple of games here at Vets Memorial Park. Hard to believe that the season already coming to a close. Feel like we just started not too long ago. And already almost the end of July. Baseball induction ceremony this weekend in Cooperstown. That one misses. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. So I will be heading there on a Saturday and potentially Sunday. Not really sure yet. But Friday I'll be here. Tomorrow I'll be back here. Or else I would probably head to Cooperstown tomorrow. One of my favorite days to go down the day before. And that's fallen off. And the count now 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out. So 2-2 now. As Negron continues to battle at the plate here against Ali Hood in the top of the 7th. Here's the pitch, and that is fouled off. So the battle continues here between Negron and Ali Hood. Hood looking for one more strike to get out number 2. Top 7, 9-2 Dogs. Still hanging on to that big lead here. As Ali Hood trying to finish this inning off and send the team to the bottom of the 7th with a 9-2 lead. And that ball is going to hit to the shortstop, and again, an error on the play. So the troubles continue as short here for the Dogs. So another run scores, another sure out for the Dogs. They should have been out of this inning already. Well, Negron reaches on an E6, and Bronx Lewis now at the plate. So what inning should have been over by now. 2 runs have scored. 9-3 is the score. Runners on the corners now for Booneville. So the Dogs giving Booneville a little bit of a window. And the Lumberjacks using the axes to try to make their way back in. 0-1. Here's the pitch. Runner takes off. Here's the throw. And safe at second. So runners now in scoring position for Booneville. So Santiago threw down, not in time. And runners on second and third with just 1 out here for Booneville. A 1-1 the count. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bronx Lewis, the batter, he has singled with an RBI. Also flew out here tonight. 1-1 count. Here's Ali Hood now with the pitch. And that one misses outside. 2 balls and a strike. So 2-1 here in the top of the 7th with 1 out. Runners in scoring position for Booneville. Runners on second and third. 9-3. They've scored 2 runs here in the top of the 7th inning. Here's Hood with the pitch. Outside, ball 3. The count now 3-1. So Hood not happy with himself here on the mound. But looking to try to finish off The batter, Bronx Lewis. He's got a 3-1 count here. Does Hood. Here's the 3-1. Only one spot to put the runner on first base. And big swing and a miss, and the count now full, 3-2. So Allie Hood looking to win hit here against Lewis with a full count. Again, runners on second and third. 3-2. Here is Allie Hood with the windup and the pitch. And that is fouled off as Lewis battles at the plate with Hood. 3-2. One out on the board here for Booneville. Long inning. That should have been over a long time ago. A couple errors has made this inning continue. 3-2. Here's the pitch. Called strike 3, and that is good for out number 2. So Bronx Lewis goes down looking, and Noah Reed will come to the plate. So Noah Reed, who's 0 for 2, he struck out once swinging, once looking. And Hood would love to do the same here and make him go 0 for 3 with the runners on the second and third. Here's Allie Hood now with the pitch. In the dirt, takes a big bounce. Here comes the runner. He will score. And mistakes are costly here for the Dogs. And the score now 9-4 in the top of the 7th. That ball took a bounce at home plate, got away from Santiago. And now a runner on third base for Booneville. Down just 5. So chipping away are the Lumberjacks. Allie Hood has to tie his shoe. And it looks like shoe is good, so he's ready to go. And he's just waiting for the batter here. And that batter is Noah Reed with a 1-0 count. Here's the 1-0. Down the center of the plate, and that will even things up at 1-1 here to Reed. And a runner in scoring position for Booneville at third base. 1-1 count to Reed. Allie Hood winds and delivers. And that is popped up, and Allie Hood heads over to try to get it, and called off by Harsh, who makes the grab, ends the inning. 9-4 the score, 3-1 score here for Booneville. 9-4, bottom 7 coming up.
Some people might think that the tire shop in Canajoharie only does tires. Nah, that's only their name. The tire shop does so much more. Oil changes, custom wheels, interstate batteries, computer wheel balancing, tire repair service and recapping, auto accessories, tire chains, ag bags, bale and net wrap, and much more. And when it comes to tires, the tire shop in Canajoharie also does so much more. Lawn and garden tires, off the road, backhoe, loader tires, log skidder, agricultural, ATV and UTV tires, and on the farm tire services. The tire shop is a multi-line new tire dealer. That means they're quite a choice for top brand name tires for your car, truck, SUV, semi-tractor, and trailer, all at great prices. They're also a Goodyear national accounts and state contract pricing location. Financing available too. Find more information and a list of services at thetireshop.biz. Thetireshop.biz. Open Monday through Saturday, 8 to 6. Yes, Saturday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. The Tire Shop, 155 Erie Boulevard in Canajoharie.
27, from Fairfield University, Ryan Payne.
And we are back, bottom of the 7th. Dogs hanging on with 9-4 lead. Ryan Payne will lead things off for the Dogs. Coming off Country Road. Great song here in the summertime to listen to. So here's Ryan Payne. He has struck out twice tonight and singled. It'll be Ryan Payne, Jaden Santiago, and then back to the top with Jake Hardy. But first, here's Ryan Payne. And that one misses down low, and ball 1. New pitcher on the mound, a right-handed pitcher for Booneville, and that is Matthew Helmer Jr. So Helmer Jr. now pitching for Booneville. 1-0, here's the pitch. In the dirt, ball 2. So 2 balls and no strikes from Helmer Jr. to Ryan Payne. And fans, don't forget, tomorrow night, last chance to see the Dogs at home. Come out, hang out with us. And the count is 3-0 now. 3 balls and no strikes. What better way to spend your Friday night here at the ballpark? Get a hot dog, hamburger, maybe some nachos with cheese. Treat yourself to some candy. And there is strike 1. The count 3-1. Maybe a ice cold beverage if you're an adult. If you like an alcoholic beverage, or if not, you can have a soda or water, whatever you want. We got Gatorade. Lots of goodies here at the ballpark. Great way to spend a Friday evening with us. If you can't join us in person, we'll be on the internet doing the same thing we're doing tonight. So I'm glad to have you join us then as well. So Ryan Payne will walk. And Jaden Santiago now will come to the plate. So Santiago reached on an error, struck out, and walked here this evening. So he's going to face Matthew Helmer Jr. here in the bottom of the 7th for the first time. Nobody out. Runner on first, and a 9-4 lead for the Dogs. Big game for the Dogs. They need every game they can get here in the last 3. Bunt down the line here, and that ball moves the runner over. And so a sacrifice bunt by Santiago puts the runner in scoring position at second base. So Ryan Payne now at second base after the sacrifice bunt from Santiago. So Jake Hardy hit a home run here tonight. Also picked up a single. And now he's got a runner on second base looking for some insurance runs here in the bottom of the 7th, 9-4 lead. As they let Booneville get back into this with 3 runs in the top of the 7th. So the Dogs looking to add some more on themselves. And the pitcher, Helmer, turns and throws. The second baseman was not at second base. And so he threw it to wherever he was, which is a couple feet away. Kind of different little strategy there. I think he didn't expect that. He thought he was there. But luckily, he made the catch and the ball stayed put. That one's popped foul. And the count 0-1 to Jake Hardy. Back to the top of the order for the Dogs with Hardy and then Kyle Coleman. So Helmer looks in, has that runner on second base. 0-1. And there's a strike in the count now, 0-2. So Helmer Jr. ahead in the count now, 0-2 to Hardy. No balls and 2 strikes with 1 out, runner on second base. That runner is Ryan Payne. 0-2. Here's Helmer now. He will kick, wind, and deliver. And just gets a piece of that one, does Hardy. And he stays alive with the 0-2 count. So no balls and 2 strikes. Fans, if you come here tomorrow, make sure you check out our souvenir stand. We have all kinds of deals going on. I can't guarantee we'll have the merchandise there, but we have a lot of deals going on. So if you want to check out the booth and grab something, tomorrow is your last chance. And that one misses. And the Booneville fans and the dugout thought that was a strike. 1-2. Now to Hardy. So ball and 2 strikes with 1 out. Runner on second base here for the Dogs. Bottom 7, 9-4 lead for Mohawk Valley. Helmer Jr. looks at the runner at second base, takes another stare, and now delivers the pitch. And swing and a foul tip as Hardy continues to stay alive at the plate with a 1-2 count. So Helmer Jr. back on the top of the mound. Runner on second base. Starts to take a few steps off the bag. Second baseman on the bag. Then he's starting to back off. And in the dirt, stopped by the catcher. And 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out. Two and two here, the count. And throws back to second base. And the runner gets back. The count remains 2-2 here to Hardy. Matt Helmer Jr., the pitcher. 2-2, here's the pitch. And swing and a miss to Hardy. Takes a little bit off. That one does Helmer and catches him by surprise and strikes Hardy out. So 2 outs now for the Dogs. And here is Kyle Coleman. Kyle Coleman also hit a home run here tonight, his 7th of the season. A 2-run shot. And he can do the same here with a runner on second with 2 outs. So here is Coleman at the plate. Helmer Jr., the pitcher. Here's the pitch. Inside, ball 1. So 1-0, the count to Coleman. Coleman, the number 2 batter in the lineup here for the Dogs. On deck, the 3-hitter, Connor Scanlon. But first, here's Coleman. And that is high for ball 2, and the count now 2-0. So 2 balls thrown high, shoulder level to Coleman. 2-0 the count. Ryan Payne at second base. Timeout is called. And it looks like ball comes out on the field. 2-0. And here we go. We're ready to go again with Coleman at the plate. A 2-0 count. Helmer Jr. looks at the runner at second, lines and delivers. And in the dirt for ball 3, and the count now 3-0. So 3 balls and no strikes to Coleman here. As Coleman probably taken all the way here on this 3-0 count. Here's the windup and the pitch by Helmer. And he takes for strike 1 in the count, 3-1. So 3 balls and 1 strike. Coleman back in the box, also often referred to as KC. 3-1 count. Here's the pitch. And he pulls back, called a strike as Coleman thought that was a little high. And now the count full at 3-2 with 2 outs. So bottom 7, 3-2. Coming here to Coleman with 2 outs. Runner on second base. Here's the pitch. And called strike 3. Catches Coleman looking. And that will end the inning. And 9-4 the score remains. We go to the top of the 8th.
If you are looking for some shopping and dining, head on over to Canal Place, where you will find quaint shops, galleries, restaurants, and inns situated in the old mill buildings and storefronts along the waterfront of Canal Place. They've become known as the happening place for the arts in the Mohawk Valley. Not so long ago, many of these buildings were working mills serving the garment industry. Even today, after conversion to serve as retail space, many of these rugged but lovely structures speak to our great regional manufacturing heritage. If you're looking for fine arts, entertainment, or antiques, you simply must pay a visit to Canal Place.
The Lumberjacks, catcher number 27 from Grand Rapids Community College, Seth Bischoff.
And we are back. Seth Bischoff will lead things off here for Booneville. New pitcher on the mound, a lefty for the Dogs. It is Colin Skirmont. So Colin Skirmont now pitching for Mohawk Valley. First pitch by Skirmont misses for ball one. And the count 1-0 here in the top of the 8th. 1-0 count. Here's the pitch to Bischoff. And they strike, the count 1-1. So a ball on the strike. Bischoff has struck out looking and grounded out here this evening. Here's the pitch by Skirmont in the dirt. Ball 2 in the count, 2-1. Santiago's going to run out. Deliver the ball personally to his pitcher. Chat with him quickly. So 2-1 the count once Santiago gets back behind the plate. Two and one, and umpire signaling us to us how many trips down to the mound that was for Santiago. 2-1 the count. Bischoff, a righty versus the lefty here in Skirmont. 2-1. Skirmont now will wind and deliver. Swing and a miss. Strike two. So 2-2 to Bischoff. After Bischoff, we go back to the top here for Booneville in the top of the 8th. 2-2. Skirmont is set and winds and delivers. Swing and a miss. And there is out number one. So he goes down swinging to Skirmont. We go back to the top of the order with Canius Davis. So here's Canius Davis, who is 0 for 3 tonight. He has struck out twice, once looking, once swinging, and also grounded out. So with the one out, here is Davis, ready to face Skirmont. Skirmont delivers high for ball one. 1-0. The count here with the one out in the top of the 8th. Dogs 9-4 lead. And that one's in the dirt. And the count now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes to Davis. Swangum on deck. Skirmont taking a long look. And here's the 2-0. In the dirt, ball 3. So 3 balls and no strikes now to Davis. So a 3-0 count here to Davis in the top of the 8th. Dogs lead 9-4. And here is the pitch. Called a strike. And 3-1. That one not liked by the dugout of Booneville, and I can't say I disagree with him. That one was very low in the count, 3-1. So 3 balls, 1 strike here to Davis. And Skirmont sets, winds, and delivers. And that one misses for ball 4. And he will take his base, Will Davis.
Now batting for the Lumberjacks, shortstop number 2 from UNC Asheville, Zeb Swangum.
So Zeb Swangum now the batter for the Lumberjacks. Swangum, a right-handed batter, comes to the plate with a 1 out. Runner on first base, down 5 here in the top of the 8th. Skirmont looks at the runner at first. Now kicks, winds, and delivers. And there's strike 1. So no balls and a strike. 1 out. Skirmont again looking at that runner at first, being held on at first base. And delivers on the 0-1. And there's strike 2. And the count now 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes here to Swangum. Marshall on deck. 0-2. Skirmont ready to go. Winds and delivers on the 0-2, and that's fouled off, and the count remains 0-2 as Swingham continues the battle at the plate here against Skirmont. One out here, top of the 8th. Dogs with a 9-5 lead. Skirmont looking in again, looks at that runner at first base. And now it's going to kick, wind, and deliver to come home. And it has popped up into foul territory, and the count 0-2 remains. 1 balls and 2 strikes. Swingham is going to make his way back into the box facing an 0-2 count. He fouled that one off to stay alive. And we'll have to do the same if a ball comes down the middle here. 0-2. They throw back to first. Runner slides back. 0-2 to Swingham. Swingham the righty versus the lefty here in Skirmont. 0-2 pitch. On its way. And swing and a miss for strike 3, and that is good for out number 2.
Now that in for your Dogs, for the Lumberjacks, designated hitter number 28 from Northwestern University, Masai Marshall.
So Masai Marshall now the batter. He was hit by a pitch in his last at bat. He's going to come to the plate with 2 outs. And a runner on first base here for the Lumberjacks in the top of the 8th. So Skirmont is ready. Looks at the runner at first base, who's dancing around a bit, and delivers the pitch in for a strike, and the count 0-1. No balls and 1 strike to Marshall. Again, Marshall hit by a pitch in his last at bat, also grounded out and popped out here tonight. 0-1, 2 outs. And back to first goes Skirmont. The runner slides back quickly. So Masai Marshall is the batter with an 0-1 count at the plate. He's awaiting the pitch from Colin Skirmont. Here it is. And there's called strike 2. And 1 more strike needed for Skirmont to end this top of the 8th inning for Booneville. 0-2. Skirmont looks in, picks up his sign, now looks at the runner at first base. 0-2. Kicks, winds, delivers, runner takes off, and it's popped foul. And the runner will head back to first, and Marshall will get another chance. 0-2. So Davis back at first base. Marshall ready at the plate. Skirmont ready to deliver the pitch. 0-2, here it is. And that one misses for ball 1 in the count 1-2. So a ball and 2 strikes. Rest of the fans here tonight soaking up as much baseball as they can, knowing that the season is starting to wind down. With 1 more chance to see them at home, at least for the Dogs. And back to first base again. Goes Skirmont, and the runner slides back again quickly. 1-2. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Skirmont. Again, fouled off. And the battle continues at the plate with Masai Marshall. The souvenirs still continuing to be sent out by the players for the fans. So you're out and about in the tennis court area, first base side, third base side. Be on the lookout. Souvenirs still coming your way once in a while. 1-2. Masai Marshall, the batter at the plate. Colin Skirmont goes back to first again. Skirmont really keeping that runner close at first base with 2 outs and a 1-2 count. So here we go again with Marshall at the plate. Skirmont delivers the pitch. Runner takes off. Here's the throw. And safe at second base. So a stolen base. And let's see what the count is here. We're waiting to see. And 2-2 after the stolen base here to Masai Marshall. So 2 balls and 2 strikes against Skirmont, needing 1 more to get his team to the bottom half of the eighth with a 9-4 lead. Here's the pitch. And that ball hit in the gap between first and second. And comes home, and a run scores. And the score now 9-5 Dogs.
Now batting for the Lumberjacks, extra hitter number 36 from the Culinary Academy, Carson Beatty.
So Carson Beatty, now the batter who walked in his last at bat, he also singled tonight and flew out. Beatty, left-handed batter against the lefty here in Skirma. So lefty versus lefty matchup. With a runner on first base. And 2 outs here in the top of the eighth. 9-5 now the score. So Booneville keeps cutting into that lead 1 run at a time. Again, back to first. Goes Skirma. And safe as the runner of the count, 1-0. So a ball and a strike here to Beatty. I'm sorry, a ball and no strikes to Beatty with 2 outs. Skirma delivers, and that is popped foul, and the count 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. One pitch. And that one misses for ball 2, and the count now 2-1. Just realized I have been talking today since 8:30 this morning. I did a presentation all day, and I guess I took a little bit of a break. I took a break at lunch, and then I took a break at 3 while I was driving here. Then I started talking again. It's a lot of talking, folks. 3-1. I'll probably get home and not want to say a word to anybody. 3-1 the count with 2 outs. And here is Skirma looking in and delivers the 3-1 outside for ball 4. And now runners on first and second. Things starting to get a little bit interesting here in the top of the eighth.
Center fielder number 7 from the University of Texas, Will Hill.
So Will Hill will come to the plate with 2 outs and runners on first and second for Booneville. Down 4. So top of the eighth, here is Will Hill at the plate. He reached on an error, and he also struck out and walked. Here's the pitch. Outside, ball 1. 1-0. With 2 outs. Runners on first and second here for Booneville. They're down 4 here in the top of the eighth. 1-0 pitch. That one misses for ball 2, and the count now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes to Hill. Dogs need 1 more out to get out of this inning here and head to the bottom of the eighth. They would like to do so with a 9-5 lead. Here's the 2-0 pitch coming from Skirma. And a swing and a miss for strike 1, and the count now 2-1. Will Hill, a right-handed batter facing the lefty here in Skirma. Again, Skirma's got runners on first and second, 2 outs. 2-1 count. Looks at the runner at second, not being held on. Looks again and delivers the pitch. Puts it high, ball 3. Now only 1 spot to put Hill. At the spot is at third base right now. Skirma does not want to do that. Does not want to load the bases here with 2 outs. 3-1 the count. Here is Skirma now with the 3-1 pitch, and he steps off. So he takes his hand out of his glove, rubs the ball. And ready to go again now is Skirma. 3-1 the count with Hill at the plate. Big pitch here for Skirma. 3-1. Here's the windup and the pitch. And there's a swing and a miss for strike 2. And he thought that pitch was big. It's going to get a little bit bigger here with a 3-2 count now. So 3-2. A strike, and Skrumont gets out of this inning with a 4-run lead. 3-2. Here's the pitch. And it's fouled off. So Will Hill not going to go away that easily. So again, 3-2 count here to Hill. A strike gets Skrumont out of the inning with a 4-run lead. A walk will load the bases. 3-2. Here's the pitch. And that was close. Ball 4 to load the bases here. And just like that, the tying run is at the plate. And here comes Coach Luby in a hurry. And he gets to the mound. And conference on the mound. And looks like Luby's going to keep Skrumont in the ball game with 2 outs. So Luby came out in a hurry, had a quick message for Skrumont, and back to the dugout he goes. So with 2 outs, Ian Farber is the batter. He struck out twice and grounded out, so 0 for 3. And Skrumont would like to keep it that way. So Ian Farber 0 for 3. And let's see if Skrumont can keep it that way with bases loaded. Tying run now at the plate for Booneville. Farber has 2 home runs on the season. There is strike 1, and the count 0-1. So 2 home runs. That number changes to 3. We have a tie ball game. 0-1 with 2 outs. Here's the pitch. And that one misses. And the count even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike here to Farber. Skrumont at the plate. And nobody warming up in the bullpen for Mohawk Valley. 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's the pitch. And that one misses down low in the count, 2-1. Farber almost went for that one. He was tempted. So 2-1 the count with 2 outs. Bases loaded here for the Lumberjacks. Making this one interesting here tonight. 2-1 with 2 outs. Here's Skrumont with the 2-1 pitch. And there's strike 2. So again, 1 strike. And the Dogs take a 4-run lead to the bottom of the 8th. 2-2. Skrumont sets. Not worried about those runners. Just needs a strike right here. Here's the pitch. And that one is popped foul. So Farber saying, I'm not going to go away that easily. And the count remains 2-2. Everyone kind of on the edge of their seats here. As Booneville looking to play spoiler for the Dogs' playoff hopes. Dogs looking to stay alive in that playoff chase. 2-2. Here's the pitch. And that one missing down low. 3-2. So the drama continues to build here. Bases loaded. Can't put him anywhere. Needs that strike or an out here. 3-2. Skrumont is ready. Here we go. Farber pops it up into left field. Left fielder drifts away, makes the catch, ends the inning, and the 4-run lead continues for the Dogs. We head to the bottom of the 8th, 9-5. Dogs ahead.
Hey fans, tell the world you are here at Veterans Memorial Park watching your Mohawk Valley DiamondDawgs. Share your experiences, connect with other fans, and gain behind-the-scenes access to your favorite team. For more information, visit mvdiamonddogs.com or like us on Facebook or follow us on Instagram and Twitter.
And we are back. Mason Michael, the new pitcher on the mound here for Booneville. So Mason Michael now pitching for Booneville. Michael, a right-handed pitcher, and he is going to face Connor Scanlon here in the bottom of the eighth. Dogs 9-5 lead. They would love to add some more runs. As you saw, Booneville had bases loaded in the last inning, so anything's possible. So Dogs looking to add some more on here in the bottom half of the eighth. There's the pitch. And that one misses. Ball 1. So 1 ball, no strikes to Scanlon. Scanlon, a .282 hitter coming into this ball game. 6 home runs for Scanlon on the season. He was tied with Coleman before he hit his home run, so now he trails behind with the lead here with 6 home runs behind Coleman 7. That one misses for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. So patience is the key here for the Dogs. Trying to get runners on base and move those runners over and get as many in as they can to help build this lead for the top of the ninth. 2-0 the count. Here's Michael looking in. That is Mason Michael. As he looks in, winds and delivers, and puts it high for ball 3 in the count, 3-0. So 3 balls and no strikes. This is a situation where Scanlon will be taken all the way here with a 3-0 count and see if he can pick up a walk. As thus far, Michael is struggling to find the strike zone in this first batter. There's the pitch, and struggles with 4 pitches, puts him on base. 4 pitches, 4 straight balls.
Now batting for your Dogs, left fielder number 19 from George Washington University, Brody Frecker.
So here's Brody Frecker. Frecker has singled twice tonight. He has struck out and reached on an error. So Frecker, the right-handed batter, will face the righty here in Michael. After Frecker, Jake Dolan due up for the Dogs. Nobody out. Bottom 8. 9-5 Dogs. Again, we'll run through the playoff scenario one more time for folks who might be joining us late. First, let's wait for the pitch. And every pitch thus far has been a ball from Mason Michael. So the Dogs 1 game behind, sitting in 5th place. Top 4 make the playoffs. 1 game behind Oneonta. Oneonta not playing tonight. They also have 3 games left. Dogs have 2 after tonight. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and that one misses. Ball 2. So thus far, Mason Michael has been very consistent. 6 balls. 2-0. Here's the pitch. And then there's ball 3. So again, 3 balls and no strikes. This is another situation where the Dogs will be taken here. So expect Dolan to take all the way here and try to get another walk. 3 balls and no strikes. Mason Michael looks in, sets, and delivers. And there is strike 1. So the first strike in the inning here for Mason Michael. 3-1 the count. Runner on first base for the Dogs is Scanlon. Sorry, Brody Frecker at the plate. My apologies. Here's the windup now and the 3-1. And there is ball 4. So another walk. So 2 batters, 2 walks, and here comes Coach. So Jake Dolan will have his shot here with nobody out. Runners on first and second. And it'll be Mason Michael on the mound. There is no activity in the bullpen. So it's going to be up to Mason Michael to work himself out of this jam here, at least for now. As we mentioned before, both teams limited with players. A lot of players heading back home with school starting in August. A lot of players catching flights back home, trying to get ready for the new school year coming up. the umpire practically had to get in the middle of that little conference to break that one up.
Valley DiamondDawgs. Designated hitter number 35 from Seton Hall, Jake Dolan.
So here's Jake Dolan. So for the Dogs, Dolan is the DH. Hitting .333 on the season is Dolan. Hasn't hit a home run, but has walked tonight, tripled, and struck out in his last 2 at-bats. Looking to change the course here of his last 2 at-bats against Mason Michael. And again, Michael delivers the ball high for ball 1. 1-0 as Michael continues to struggle to find that strike zone. 1-0 count here to Dolan with the runners on first and second. And they throw back, and the runner gets back quickly as the shortstop covers the bag. So 1-0 the count to Dolan. Valdez Jr. on deck with nobody out here. Dogs with a 4-run lead, and that one sails across for a strike the count and 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike. First time here, Dogs have not been ahead of the count. There's the 1-1 pitch from Michael. And then it's popped up foul. And the count now 1-2. So now the first time that Michael has been ahead of the count in this inning. So the Dogs looking to continue the battle here with runners on first and second. Again, they got that 9-5 lead here in the bottom of the 8th. They want more as they head to the top of the 9th as a little more cushion. 1-2. Here's Michael now with the windup and the pitch. And that one is popped high into center field at the wall. He turns around, and is that gone? Home run. A home run. It was hard to see for Jake Dolan, so how about that? His first home run of the year for Jake Dolan. Hard to see. He puts it into the middle of the night, and a home run for Dolan. There's those insurance runs that the Dogs were looking for. And Jake Dolan, first home run of the season, and the timing couldn't be any better here in the bottom of the 8th. And the Dogs build that lead now 12-5. So with nobody out, Dolan with the home run, and the Dogs go ahead 12-5. So Roberto Valdez Jr., that ball was hit out to center field. The center fielder backed up, turned around, had to kind of shift positions. That was Will Hill out there. And by the time he turned around, over the fence. And there's another one to center field. This one's short. It's going to drop in front of the center fielder for a base hit. And the inning continues for the Dogs as Roberto Valdez Jr. picks up the single.
Third baseman number 21 from Brown University, Harsh Ramayana Venkat.
So here is Harsh Ramayana Venkat. Venkat has struck out twice tonight, hit by a pitch and popped out. So Venkat looking to get in here on the hitting with nobody out. Venkat at the plate with a runner on first. Mason Michael delivers the pitch, puts it in the dirt, ball 1. And again, nobody in the bullpen, so this one's going to be Mason Michael to have to figure it out. Nobody out here, bottom of the 8th, 12-5, Dogs ahead. Michael sets, delivers, and another one misses for ball 2. So 2 balls and no strikes to Harsh Ramayana Venkat. Venkat, Brown University. I call him our neurosurgeon. He's not a neurosurgeon yet, but he's working on it. We were just talking about him today, what a nice kid he is. And that one misses down low. Here's the throw, and they got him. They got him at second base for the first out. That was much needed for Mason Michael. So as we were talking about Venkat, really nice kid, attends Brown University. We were kind of chatting today amongst us saying Division I baseball player, goes to an Ivy League school, and a nice kid. Don't think much better than that. 3-0 count. And there is ball 4. And he will take his base And a runner now on first for the Dogs with one out.
Number 27 from Fairfield University, Ryan Payne.
So here's Ryan Payne. Payne singled, struck out twice, and walked here this evening. He's going to face Mason Michael here for the first time. He'll do so in the bottom of the 8th with one out and a runner on first and a 12-5 lead. So here's Michael with the pitch. Down low, ball 1. One ball and no strikes. So 1-0 here the count to Payne. Michael delivers the pitch for a strike down low in the count, 1-1. So a ball and a strike to Ryan Payne. Jaden Santiago is on deck for the Dogs. 1-1. Mason Michael looks in, picks up his sign, and is going to deliver here on the 1-1. And that misses for ball 2 in the count now, 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Ryan Payne, the batter for the Dogs. Michael trying to work here with a 2-1 count with 1 out. Runner on first. Here's the pitch. And then it's popped foul. The count now 2-2. Oh, 2-2 to the righty Ryan Payne, facing the righty here in Mason Michael. Michael has struggled here in this inning in his outing. 2-2. Michael sets, kicks, winds, and delivers on the 2-2. And that is high for ball 3. So a full count here. Let's see what happens here between Mason Michael and Ryan Payne as Jaden Santiago awaits on deck with 1 out and a runner on first. 12-5 lead here for the Dogs. Here's the pitch now to Payne, 3-2. Swing and a miss. And Payne strikes out for the 3rd time this evening, this time to Mason Michael.
From Columbia University, Jaden Santiago.
So Jaden Santiago will take his hack here against Mason Michael in the bottom of the 8th. For Santiago, his line looks like this. He reached on an error, struck out, walked, and had a sacrifice bunt. So with 2 outs, he's got a runner on first and a 12-5 lead here in the bottom of the 8th. Swing and a miss for strike 1. So no balls and 1 strike. Mason Michael got himself in jam and is trying to work himself out of it here as much as he can, as best he can. Already give up 3 runs, 12-5 the score. 0-1 the count. Here's the pitch. And that is left high for ball 1. So a ball and a strike here to Santiago. Santiago looking for his first hit of the ball game here tonight. 12 runs for the Dogs, 12 hits, 2 errors, 5-4-2 for Booneville. Here's the 1-1. Misses ball 2. So 2 balls and 1 strike here to Santiago. Mason Michael takes off his cap, wipes the sweat off his forehead, and he's ready to go here on the 2-1. He looks in. And looks like he's happy with what his catcher is telling him to throw. He's going to throw here on the 2-1. And a swing and a miss as he chases that one, does Santiago. And the count now 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs. So Mason Michael can get out of this inning and go to the top of the 9th. They 12-5, down 12-5. If he can just strike out here, get 1 more strike here of Santiago. And he gets them with a called strike 3. That'll do it for the inning. Dogs put up 3 runs. They lead 12-5, trying to put this one away in the top of the 9th.
Visit the Daily Post and stay connected with the latest news, information, and events in the Mohawk Valley. Our mission is to generate interest in the area and connect residents in a more meaningful way by facilitating deeper conversations about how these stories will shape the future of the Mohawk Valley. Join thousands of weekly visitors who stay up to date with feature stories, interviews, videos, our event calendar, and print publication, the Mohawk Valley Express. It's about timely local news for the community, keeping citizens informed about important issues, telling about the people who live and work here, and giving locally owned businesses the opportunity to reach a very targeted audience of locals and tourists alike. It's a whole new form of media-rich content developed specifically for today's mobile lifestyle and listeners. You can download our iOS app in the iTunes Store, listen to our podcast, or sign up for our weekly email newsletter. Stop by today at thedailypost.digital. You'll be glad you did.
And we are back, and like we said before, some kids can do it all, right? And that is Harsh Ramanyana Venkat as he moves from third base to the pitching mound. And now at third for the Dogs is Hayden Streeter. So Hayden Streeter at third. Harsh Ramanyana Venkat is the pitcher, right-handed pitcher. So one more thing you can add to the list that he can do, he can pitch. And we've seen him a couple times this year. There's the first pitch by Venkat. And it is a strike in the count, 0-1. So Dogs need 3 outs here to secure the victory here and make this last 2 days of the season real interested. So 1 ball and a 1 strike. Here's Venkat now with the windup and the pitch. And misses outside, 2-1. So 2 balls and a 1 strike. Elijah Negron is the batter here. He has singled, grounded out, and reached on an error. And there is strike 2 in the count now, 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Ramanyana Venkat looking for 1 more strike here to get 1 out here in the inning. Here's the windup and the pitch. Down low, misses, and the count full, 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. It'll be after Negron, Bronx Lewis, and Noah Reed. 3-2 pitch, here it is. And that one misses for ball 4. And he will take his baseball, Negron, and Bronx Lewis now will come to the plate.
For the Lumberjacks, right fielder number 9 from Concordia University, Bronx Lewis.
So here's Bronx Lewis. Lewis has singled, picking up an RBI earlier in the game. Also popped out and struck out looking. So he is a left-handed bat here facing the righty in Ramanyana Venkat. And there is strike 1 to Lewis. And the count 0-1. Lewis, a 128 batting average. He's got a runner on first base. Here's the pitch. And that ball hit to the second baseman. It goes over to shortstop. over to first, and they can't get the runner at first. They tried to get the double play. They get the force out at second for out number 1.
Now batting for the Lumberjacks, left fielder number 5 from North Central Texas College, Noah Reed.
So Noah Reed now will come to the plate with 1 out. He has struck out twice this evening and popped out 0 for 3. So Ramanyana Venkat looking to send him 0 4 if it's up to him. That one down low for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Runner on first, 12-5 lead here for the Dogs. Dogs need this game badly for the playoff race. Here's the pitch. And there's a strike in the count, 1-1. So fans, make sure you either tune in tomorrow night or you come to the ballpark. Last home game here for the Dogs tomorrow. Glens Falls Dragons come to town. Huge game for the Dogs. And that one missing for ball 2. So whether you can come or tune in and listen, you're going to want to tune in. You're going to want to be here, as it is exciting. You can't ask for anything better coming down the last 2 games of the season. Neck and neck. Dogs 1 game out of a playoff spot. That one's popped up into right field, and the right fielder will make the catch for out number 2. So 1 out away for the Dogs.
Now batting for the Lumberjacks, catcher number 27 from Grand Rapids Community College, Seth Bischoff.
So here's Seth Bischoff. So final chance here for Booneville as Bischoff comes to the plate. He's also 0 for 3. Eagles 0 for 4. This ball game is over. Dogs lead 12-5. Here's the pitch. And there is strike 1. So no balls and 1 strike. Harsh Venom. I just can't get it out. Venkat is on the mound. Here's the 0-1. It's getting late. We're just starting to slur a little bit up here. 0-2. Although I just finished my coffee, so yes, I'm drinking coffee still this late in the evening. I might even get one more on the way home. I'm not going to lie. 0-2 with 2 outs. 1 more strike and it's over. Here's the pitch. And he misses for ball 1. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. So the Lumberjacks down to their final strike here. Dogs trying to secure this victory. Again, 1 game behind the final playoff spot. Behind Oneonta. Here's the pitch. And he fouls that one off, and the count remains 1-2. So Oneonta not playing tonight, so a win for the Dogs. They would pick up a half game. 1-2. So right now, a game behind the final playoff spot. You get 1 more strike. They're a half game behind. Runner takes off. They're going to let him go. And the count now 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Harsh Ramanyana Venkat looking for 1 more strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. And that one misses. So let's go full count. Let's make this real exciting here in the top of the 9th. 3-2. 1 more strike needed here for Venkat to seal the deal. Here's the windup, the pitch. And that is popped up. This should do it for the Dogs. And they make the catch. The game is over. They win this ball game 12-5. And they're a half game behind Oneonta for the final playoff spot, fans. Make sure you tune in tomorrow night or come to the ball game. Glens Falls come to town. Thanks. Have a great night.
Against Glens Falls.
The field and we're ready to play. We're all suited up, we got a game today. We're gonna play fast and we're gonna play hard, gonna knock that ball right out of the yard. So don't just sit there like a bump on a log. Let me hear you holler now. Let's go, Dogs! We got a guy on third, nobody out. It's time to stand up, yes, it's time to shout. We're playing some ball and we're having some fun. Come on, boys, let's score that run. So don't just sit there like a bump on a log. Let me hear you holler now. Let's go, Dogs! up, we got a game today. We're gonna play fast and we're gonna play hard. Gonna knock that ball right out of the yard. So don't just sit there like a bump on a log. Let me hear you holler now. Let's go, Dogs! 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 Don't just sit there like a bump on a log. Let me hear you holler